Hey everyone, it's Hannah. So if you miss going to record stores right now, I have just the video for you. I'm going to show you footage from several record stores in Washington State from my trip last month. Come and join me. Last month, I was able to make another trip to Washington State to visit my best friend in the vinyl community, Bo. His channel is Earhead6. So he said he had a few weeks off, and if I wanted to come out and attend some record shows and also check out other stores in Washington, as well as venture down to Portland, Oregon, which I've never been. So accomplished all of that, got a ton of awesome vinyl finds. I'm going to show you footage from several stores in Olympia, Tacoma, Shelton, Port Townsend, and at the end I will show you an awesome stack of records I got from 2 record shows. So that's all in this video. I'm going to start with the town of Olympia, Washington, which is the capital of Washington, and there's 2 awesome stores in Olympia. The first one I'm going to feature is called Mossy Bottom. Mossy Bottom, when I first went to Washington last year, they were in a different location, but they've since moved I think just a couple blocks from their old store. So I'm going to show you some footage from Mossy Bottom, so check it out. To my finds from Mossy Bottom, I found a Bardo Pond album. This release is called Bufo Alvarius. It was originally released in 1994. This is a 2010 reissue. They venture into psychedelic territory. They're indie rock. Really cool guitar work. I don't really like how this was recorded. It's kind of muddy, but this is still nice to own. I have their 2017 album. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. I can probably reach it right here, actually. Yes, Under the Pines. So if you want to check out Bardo Pond, I suggest you start here with Under the Pines. I was blown away by this. It sounds a lot like Neil Young with the guitars. Really good band, Bardo Pond. So that was my first pickup from Mossy Bottom. Next, I got a Marshall Crenshaw album I did not have. This is called Downtown. It was $2. I had to pick it up. Released in 1985. So here's the track listing. Always happy to add some more power pop to my collection, as you guys know. It's on Warner Brothers. Cheap find right here with The Leaves. Hey Joe, band from the 60s. I just love that psychedelic cover with the paisley design there. I'll show you the label. I've only listened to this once, but I really dug it. I kind of bought it because Bo had it in his collection. It's on Mira Records. It's a mono copy, $8. I could not pass that up. The Leaves album, Hey Joe. Next, I got the Troggs Wild Thing. Yes, there's some writing on it, but that doesn't matter. This is an OG copy. I believe there's 2 record labels this was pressed on. This is Atco. I forget what other label it's pressed on, but it's an OG. So $3, I'm not gonna pass that up. And this is the first time I've seen a copy of this, so couldn't pass it up. These guys really rocked for their time. I think this is released in like 66. So yeah, for that price, I was pretty thrilled. So that's all I got from Mossy Bottom. So next we're going to my favorite store in Washington, and actually it's my favorite store ever out of all the record stores I've ever been to, and that is Rainy Day Records in Olympia, Washington. It is just blocks away from Mossy Bottom, so you can walk to them both. And I got this t-shirt there. Pretty cool. Here's some footage and some pictures of Rainy Day. Hopefully you guys like that footage. It is just an amazing store. You can spend hours in there. They got cheap prices. They have a 98-cent bin that is unreal. I got Magnapop's Hut Boxing for $1. This is their album from 1994. I just love this band. I've got several of their CDs. This is an alternative band with a female singer from the 90s, so if you dig that, you'll probably dig Magnapop. As for vinyl, I got several albums. This is from their 98-cent bin. I've been looking for this one from Laura Nyro. It's her album New York Tinderberry. So I like the picture on the back cover here. And it is on a 2i Columbia. Right there. Next, for some reason this was $5. Great Lake Swimmers, their album A Forest of Arms from 2015. And this was kind of a blind buy. They're an incredible folk acoustic group. This album kind of blew me away. In fact, Bo and I listened to it when I was out there and he even liked it too. So I highly recommend this album. I'm going to be checking out more of their stuff, but $4.98. So got that one. Next, I got a Psych reissue. This is the Grodeck Whipperjenny. Again, kind of a blind buy. I've seen some people in the VC talk about them. I just dropped the album. I'm not quite sure what to think of this yet. I'm going to have to spin it a few more times. I think it was either side 1 or side 2 that was really strong, but the other side was lacking for me. Again, it's been about a month since I spun this, so I'll give it a few more spins, but let me know what you guys think of that one. I've been looking for this album for a while. As you know, I'm a pretty big Elvis Costello fan, so I've been looking for a good price on this album of his called Get Happy. This was $2.98. That's the cheapest I've seen it, so had to pick it up. And the label, Columbia. Okay, and then I know Sam at the Vinyl Douche just showed this album. This is the reissue from Pale Saints, their first album called The Comforts of Madness. This is the 30th anniversary remaster of this album. Dream pop, shoegaze, alternative, whatever you want to call it. This is a brilliant debut album. I'm glad they reissued this, and I just love the cover. I recommend you guys sample this if those genres are in your wheelhouse. Lastly, I found something pretty incredible there. This is cool, you guys. I found an OG copy of Them's Again. Yes, this is a stereo copy. It was $30. I'm fine being transparent with the price. I thought that was an excellent price. It's in marvelous shape. It's on Parrot. Could You, Would You is an incredible track. It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. This album, this is amazing. I never thought I would find them albums out in the wild for a decent price, but turns out I found 2 of their albums in Washington just this last trip. I already showed their other album I found for an incredible price on my sister channel, which is called Adventures in Record Digging. Bo and I did 2 videos on there. If you want to see what we got from the record shows there, I will leave a link down below so you can check out those 2 videos. Sorry you guys, my phone just stopped filming. I guess I ran out of space, so I had to clear some up. But we're gonna go next on to Quimper Sound Records. This is a store in Port Townsend, which is north of Seattle. We went there because there was a record show we wanted to go to, and that was the first record show we attended out there. So, and had some amazing luck. If you want to check out that video, the link is down below. I'm going to show some footage from their store right now, Quimper Sound. Ended up getting this shirt from the record show out there, but Quimper Sounds, I guess, kind of sponsored the show. So yeah, apparently Pete Townsend actually made a stop to Port Townsend, so that's why he's on there. I thought that was really neat. We explain that a little more in the video below, but so my finds from Quimper, I really liked the store. I found two amazing records. I found a stereo copy of the Who Sell Out, which is of course my favorite Who album. I did not have this on stereo. I have an original mono copy, but it's so nice to get a stereo. So I will show you the label. It's on Decca right there, very clean. I'm not sure why it was only $10. I couldn't believe it. So, and I like the hype sticker that's on there. Incredible score, unexpected. And then I've been looking for this album from the Knitters. This is their first album. The Knitters consist of band members from one of my favorite punk bands ever, which is X. So you can see X's band members there, but this album is very different from X punk sound. The Knitters are rockabilly, folk, country. It's a totally different sound, but they do it very well. And this album was released in 1985. It's on Slash Records right there. So that was fairly cheap if I recall. I think it was like $8. So I had been looking for that one. Awesome. So that's Quimper Sound. Now we're going to be moving on to Tacoma. Let's go to Tacoma. And we stopped at 3 stores. Let's see. Let me get my list here. We stopped at 3 stores in Tacoma. I had to refresh my memory. If I don't do these videos like soon after, I tend to forget things. So let's go to Drastic Plastic first, which is kind of interesting that there's another store called Drastic Plastic because the one in Omaha just shut down last year. And I'm going to show you some footage of that store really quick. So I got one album from Jurassic Plastic, and it's this album from the Standells. Now, Bo found this, and he was like, ooh, you have to have this album. And I was like, yes, because I only have their album with Dirty Water on it, and I've always wanted to hear more. So, and I ended up listening to this out in Washington, and I just love it. This is on Tower Records, garage rock. It rocks pretty hard. The most unbelievable thing about this is the price. I don't know if you can see the price on there. It was $4.95. I've seen this go for $30 or higher. But anyway, this is a fantastic garage album from an excellent garage band. All right, let's move on to High Voltage Records. Now, these records are all on the same street. If I remember correctly, it's 6th Street in Tacoma. So yeah, there's just like a string of record stores along the same street, kind of their downtown area. It's worth checking out. So yeah, High Voltage Records. Really like this store. They have a great selection. It's a big store. It's kind of overwhelming when you first walk in. The selection. I found two pretty affordable Depeche Mode 12-inch singles. The first one's Behind the Wheel. Now, I've been talking about wanting their 12-inch singles for a while. The only problem is, and I run into this in almost every store I run into if they have 12-inch singles from Depeche Mode. The issue is that these are usually $15 or more, which I'm not paying for a 12-inch single. I love Depeche Mode, but both of these were $6.99 each, which I thought was the right price, and they are in decent shape. So Behind the Wheel and Personal Jesus I picked up. Probably should cover that, but yeah, they're both on Sire there. This one I need to clean up a little bit. It's got kind of a split jacket too, but for the price, pick those up because I'm a mega fan. Also from High Voltage, I got Thunderclap Newman's Hollywood Dream. right here. I always think this looks like Pete Townsend. I don't know what you guys think, but there's a Pete Townsend connection because he produced this album. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard the track Something in the Air. So, just a great classic rock song. I'm sure you've heard it. I know it's in one of my favorite comedy movies, Kingpin. That's where I first heard it. So this is on MCA Records. I think this is a second press of this album. I'll have to double check, but that was neat to find. And then finally, I got a mono copy of a Byrds album I really wanted. I know I've talked highly about this album before. This is one of my favorite albums from them. I love early Byrds albums anyways. This is a mono copy of Turn, 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 which is their second album. And it's on the 2i Columbia right there. My favorite song from the Byrds is on here, and that's It Won't Be Wrong. So, let me just put this back in here. Anyway, I've found 3 mono albums out in Washington from the Byrds, so that made me very happy. This one's a little more than it should have been probably, but I had never seen their mono albums before, so I had to grab them. So that's High Voltage. Now I'm going to show you some footage of Rocket Records in Tacoma. I did not purchase anything, but here you can get an idea what the store is like. now let's go to Shelton, Washington, which is a small town west of Seattle. We're gonna head on over to Bob's Vintage Vinyl. I really like this store. It's a pretty small store. The selection is awesome. Prices are fair. Really like looking through his bins. Here's some footage from Bob's. Two albums from Bob's store. I got kind of a blind buy. This is a power pop album called The Pop. Now, doesn't that look like power pop to you? I looked it up in the store. This is their second album. It's called Go. And I was right. It was power pop. Here's the back there. I really enjoyed this. Again, I had never heard of them, but it looked like it was up my alley. And for $5, I took a chance, and I'm glad I did. It's on Arista Records. So, yeah, The Pop, really worthy listen. Okay, I bought one more album from Bob, and it's a Sinatra record. I love Frank Sinatra. I've been looking for this one. I don't stumble upon this one often, so when I saw it there, I was like, yeah, I need to have that. This is Frank Sinatra and Count Basie. It might as well be swing. Some Frank Sinatra albums I have a hard time getting into. I think September of My Years, I have a hard time getting into that, and similar ones. But I like when he goes into more of the swing territory. Fly Me to the Moon is on here. This is excellent. So, thank you, Bob, if you're watching. Yeah, check out Bob's store if you're in that area of Washington. He's got a lot to offer. All right, you guys. Oh, I have one more thing to show. There is a half-price books outlet in Olympia that we stopped in, and I got a CD. They do have vinyl in there, but it's not good vinyl. I'll just say that. So I got this one for $3. It's Paul Weller's Wildwood, and it's the deluxe edition. So I don't know if you can see. I like to pick up anything Jam related or Paul Weller solo related. So yeah, this is a 2 CD set. Excellent album. Wildwood. Nice to add to the collection. All right, so hopefully you had fun going on that little adventure, checking out Washington record stores with me right there. I'm going to be working on my Portland, Oregon record store video soon. I think I have about the same amount of stores to show you from Portland, if not more. So that was a very fruitful trip as well. Oh, let me do a little flip video for you guys who missed my adventures in record digging videos. Here's a little taste of what I got from those 2 Washington record shows. That ended up only being $10. Australian press. That was not $30, by the way. This was sealed. This was a sealed copy. I recently opened it. It's a second press on Berserkly. Second press. That's a bootleg, Byrds bootleg. Double album. This is amazing. This is an 85 pressing, and this is mono. So as you can see, I got tons of awesome stuff. I'm so excited. This was a very fruitful trip. Washington by far is my favorite area to shop for records in. The prices are right. The selection is amazing, especially if you're into rock like I am. I'm a rock girl. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye.